William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, and actor. His writing styles can be divided into three phases with respect to time period. Early phase of William Shakespeare, 1590 to 1594. In this early period, say from 1590 to 1594, Shakespeare was in the workshop learning his craft. Quite naturally, these early plays are characterized by much crudity and immaturity. There is superficiality in theme, treatment, and characterization. There is too much wordplay, use of puns, conceits, and word patterning. The use of rhyme is excessive, and too much space is given to farcical situations and to the antics of the clown. But there is vivacity, cleverness, delight in beauty, and a remarkable zest for life. As has been well said in Love's Labour Lost, we see the fascinating spectacle of the young Shakespeare attaining to manhood. Great Tragedies phase of William Shakespeare, 1600 to 1608. The period from 1600 to 1608 is the period of the Great Tragedies. Around the year 1600, some dark shadow seems to have fallen on the mind and heart of Shakespeare. The treachery of a friend, disappointment in love, or the death of his son, Hamnet, or the death of his father, may account for it. But certain it is that his mood grew gloomy, pessimistic, and even cynical, and this is reflected in the comedies which followed, and which are rightly grouped together as dark comedies. All is Well That Ends Well, Measure for Measure, and Troilus and Cressida are comedies only because they have a happy end, otherwise, the atmosphere is tragic, heralding the great tragedies. Shakespeare's attention is occupied more and more by the darker side of life and human nature. He now writes out of the depths of his mind and heart and explores the hidden recesses of the human soul. The last phase of William Shakespeare, 1608 to 1616. Shakespeare continued to write up to the end of his days, and there was no falling off his powers. The plays of his last period, 1608 to 1616, are grouped together as last plays or dramatic romances. They are different in spirit both from the earlier comedies and the great tragedies. They stand in a class by themselves. The style of these last plays is a further development of the style of the great tragedies. The list of plays of Shakespeare are: Henry VI Part 1, 1589 to 1590, Henry VI Part 2, 1590 to 1591, Henry VI Part 3, 1590 to 1591, Richard III, 1592 to 1593, The Comedy of Errors, 1592 to 1593, Titus Andronicus, 1593 to 1594, The Taming of the Shrew, 1593 to 1594, The Two Gentlemen of Verona, 1594 to 1595, Love's Labours Lost, 1594 to 1595, Romeo and Juliet, 1594 to 1595, Richard II, 1595 to 1596, A Midsummer Night's Dream, 1595 to 1596, King John, 1596 to 1597, The Merchant of Venice, 1596 to 1597, Henry IV Part 1, 1597 to 1598, Henry IV. Part 2 Inch, 1597 to 1598, Much Ado About Nothing, 1598 to 1599, Henry V, 1598 to 1599, Julius Caesar, 1599 to 1600, As You Like It, 1599 to 1600, Twelfth Night, 1599 to 1600, Hamlet, 1600 to 1601, The Merry Wives of Windsor, 1600 to 1601, Troilus and Cressida, 1601 to 1602, All's Well That Ends Well, 1602 to 1603, Measure for Measure, 1604 to 1605, Othello, 1604 to 1605, King Lear, 1605 to 1606, Macbeth, 1605 to 1606, Antony and Cleopatra, 1606 to 1607, Coriolanus, 1607 to 1608, Timon of Athens, 1607 to 1608, Pericles, 1608 to 1609, Cymbeline, 1609 to 1610, The Winter's Tale, 1610 to 1611, The Tempest, 1611 to 1612, Henry VIII, 1612 to 1613, The Two Noble Kinsmen, 1612 to 1613.